I'm Jennifer Gann with State Farm Insurance, and the holidays are here. There's joy in the air, twinkling lights, and the warmth of community bringing us together once again. To kick off this magical holiday season, we're so excited to share something truly special. A reading of Christmas stories by Evergreen's much-loved John Ellis. So gather close, grab a cup of hot chocolate, and let the holiday spirit fill your heart as John brings these timeless stories to life.
Ho, 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 ho. Girls and boys and moms and dads and all the animals and all the dogs and cats. Merry, Merry Christmas to you. I've stopped by here at the Evergreen Chamber today, or actually tonight. It's dark out now. And I'm going to relax in my chair. They've invited me to be by their fire, and I have some stories I'm going to read. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you know that one. I'll start off with here. Way up at the North Pole, there's a special place called Christmas Town. Families of reindeer live in cozy caves. Elves work at the factory, making presents for children. In Santa's castle, Mrs. Claus makes sure he eats plenty so that his holiday suit fits just right. Well, everyone loves living in Christmas Town, except for one year when the weather was so bad that Christmas was almost canceled. Whoa. One spring, Donner, the lead reindeer, who helped pull Santa's sleigh each Christmas, became a proud papa. He and his wife named their son Rudolph. And soon after little Rudolph was born, his tiny red nose began to glow. Whoa, great bouncing icebergs, I exclaimed. As Santa, of course. When I saw it, Rudolph's nose continued to glow, and he would never make the sleigh team when he grew up. Donner taught Rudolph all the things a young reindeer needed, especially to be aware of a abominable snowman monster. And all the while, he hid Rudolph's nose under a cover and hoped it would someday stop glowing. As the months went by, the elves were busy making Christmas toys. All of the elves loved their work, except for one, Hermie. Hermie just didn't have a knack for toy making. Maybe that's because he dreamed of becoming a dentist one day. It made him feel like a misfit among the fellow elves. Well, Rudolph felt like a misfit too. He didn't like his nose cover he had to wear, and without it his nose glowed as brightly as ever. But Donner was determined to keep that a secret. One day of the annual reindeer games, Rudolph met Clarice, a pretty young doe. When Clarice said she liked him, Rudolph was so excited that he flew through the air with joy. Flying was exactly what Comet the coach was trying to teach the young reindeer. Well, everyone was amazed by Rudolph until his nose cover fell off. All the other reindeer except for Clarice laughed at Rudolph and called him names. Comet said, "From now on, we won't let Rudolph join in any reindeer games." Rudolph went off by himself, feeling sad. At the toy factory, Hermie was having trouble too. He skipped elf practice so he could fix doll's teeth, thinking it might fit it better that way. And when the foreman found out, he yelled, "Come to elf practice and learn to wiggle your ears and chuckle warmly and do important stuff like that, or you'll never fit in." But Hermie just couldn't stand it, and he ran away. Before long, Hermie and Rudolph met and shared their stories. They decided to go off to the world together. "You don't mind my red nose?" asked Rudolph. "Not if you don't mind me being a dentist," replied Hermie. "It's a deal," said Rudolph. On their first day, they heard the abominable snow monster terrible roar. "And he must have seen your nose," cried Hermie. The two friends tried to stay far ahead of the monster as he followed them everywhere they went. Soon they met Yukon Cornelius and his dog sled team. Now Yukon was looking for gold, but he found Rudolph and Hermie instead. Well, then Rudolph's glowing nose let the abominable snow monster find them all. And thanks to Yukon's quick thinking, they escaped on an ice floe, or like what we know as an iceberg. The ice floe carried them to the island of misfit toys, a place filled with odd toys. Well, the ruler of the island, King Moonracer, said, "A toy is never truly happy until it is loved by a child." Well, Rudolph promised the king that someday he would tell Santa about these homeless toys, and maybe Santa would include them in his Christmas deliveries to children around the world. Rudolph asked King Moonracer if he and his friends could stay on the island of misfit toys. "Oh, the island is not for living things," said the king. "It's only for misfit toys." "Well, how do you like that?" said Yukon. "Even among misfits were misfits." Well, the king let the friends rest overnight before they moved on. And when Hermie and Yukon were asleep, Rudolph slipped away, knowing his nose would put them in constant danger with the abominable snow monster. He didn't want to be the cause of any harm to his friends. The abominable snow monster did indeed find Rudolph because of his glowing nose. He chased the young reindeer everywhere. During that time, Rudolph grew up. One day, he realized it was time to go home. Oh, meanwhile, Rudolph's parents and Clarice had been out looking for him ever since he left. It was now 2 days before Christmas, and I told Rudolph that without Donner, I'd never be able to get his sleigh off the ground. Well, Rudolph was determined to find his parents and Clarice. As he began to look for them, the storm of all storms hit, and the snowflakes fell, making it hard to see. Rudolph had an idea where his parents and Clarice were, in the cave of the abominable snow monster. He made his way there, despite the storm, and found Clarice in the monster's clutches. "Put her down!" Rudolph cried. The abominable snow monster did, and went after Rudolph instead. Yukon and Hermie, who had been searching for their friend, arrived at the cave just in time. Quickly, they lured the monster outside and knocked him out with a big rock. Ooh. Then Hermie removed all of the monster's teeth, using his dentist skills. And finally, Hermie got to be a dentist. When the abominable snow monster woke up, Yukon pushed him back and back and back until the monster, Yukon, and his dogs all slipped over the edge of the cliff. Well, Rudolph and his friends and family were heartbroken when they returned to Christmastown. When the others heard the entire story, they realized that those who are different are important too. And they all apologized to Rudolph and Hermie. And Foreman told Hermie he could open his own dentist's office. And I agreed to find homes for all the misfit toys. Well, just then, there was a knock at the door. It was Yukon, his dogs, and the abominable snow monster. Even though they had all gone over the cliff, the abominable snow monster was able to bounce, and so they all landed safely on top of him. Now the monster is no longer mean. Doesn't have any of his teeth, of course. And he even got a job because he's so tall, of placing the star on top of the big Christmas tree. Everybody cheered. Well, the next day was Christmas Eve, but the weather was so bad that I could not fly my sleigh safely through it. I reluctantly started to tell everyone that Christmas was going to be canceled for the first time ever. But then I realized that there was a way through the storm after all. Rudolph. Well, I said, "You and that wonderful nose of yours, that nose can cut through the murkiest storm. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" Rudolph replied, "It will be an honor, sir," because Rudolph was very polite. The sleigh was loaded, The reindeer got it into place, and Santa climbed aboard. Rudolph took the lead, and the sleigh took off. Santa's first stop, the island of misfit toys. Everyone had an extra Merry Christmas there that year, and Rudolph went down in history as the greatest reindeer of all time. And as they flew out of sight, my bells I ring on the sleigh every night.